Hi friends, welcome back to the Saffron Box. I hope all of you are doing well. The month of October is here and a lot of important changes, important movements for the planets is going to happen in this month. We also see the festival season starting up with the Dussehra around the corner. Then there is, once the Pitra Paksh ends and the Dussehra starts, the Navratri start. And then by the end of it, end of the month, we'll all be ready for Diwali, which comes absolutely early next month, right? So there is a lot of change, and October as such is a month of changes in season, changes in a lot of planetary movement. As I mentioned, the sun gets debilitated every year in the month of October, which is again a very important event for a lot of people. This month we also see Mars getting into debilitation. So we see the king, that is the sun, and the Senapati, that is the commander-in-chief Mars, both moving into the signs of debilitation, right? Jupiter is also going to become retrograde on the 9th of October. So there is a lot of important planetary movement which is taking place, and in this video I've analyzed and I'll be talking about all the 12 signs, all the rising signs. Keep that in mind, please. Rising sign or the ascendants, and I'll be talking about what kind of possibilities are there in store for you. Do always keep your natal chart in the background. Whatever your natal chart promises you, the dashas and transits deliver accordingly. So remember, if your natal chart is not promising something, nobody is going to come and deliver it to you, right? So do keep that in mind, so that a lot of confusion is off the table. And for any other query, for any other consultation matters, if you wish to contact me, you can always drop me a WhatsApp on the number given in the description section, and might be running here also somewhere. So you can always drop me a WhatsApp. Please do not call directly on that number. As soon as you give me a WhatsApp stating your query, I'll be able to reply back on those messages as well, right? So that's about the planetary movement. Let me just go into details about all the planets, and thereafter I'll be going with the sign-wise analysis, starting from Aries going on to Pisces. So this month we have Sun, which is moving from the sign of Virgo into the sign of Libra. So Libra is the sign of debilitation for the Sun. So that's the reason I said that the king is going into debilitation. Sun does not like to be in Libra. Sun is exalted in the sign of Aries, right? So it sits on the throne in the sign of Aries. Libra is the sign of the common people, right? So Libra, Sun moving into Libra, Sun, it is like the Raja moving into the Praja, with the Praja, and that is not the place for Sun. So Sun is not very comfortable out there, right? So on this note, if you guys want a video where you want me to explain why certain planets debilitate or exalt in certain signs, do drop your comment in the comment section, and if I see a good response, I'll be happy to make videos explaining as to why a certain planet debilitates or exalts in a particular sign. And that's very interesting information. So if you want me to make some content on that, I'll be happy to do so as well. Now, moving on to the next planet, that is Mercury. So Mercury is going to be moving into Libra. So as we know, Sun and Mercury usually are together. So Mercury, which is currently in its sign of exaltation, that is Virgo, is going to move into the sign of Libra on 10th of October. And then within a period of about 20 days, 29th of October, Mercury also moves into Scorpio. Then Mars is also going to get into debilitation by the middle of the month, by the 20th October. So Mars also moves out of Gemini and then debilitates in the sign of Cancer. Here, as I mentioned, Commander-in-Chief or the Senapati moving into the sign of Cancer, which is a water sign, which is the sign of emotions, which is the sign of your heart, of your mind, of Cancer being a watery sign, it's taken as a sign of, where we see our emotions from, we see our love for, motherland or our mother, and all things soft are seen from the sign of Cancer. Mars exalts in the sign of Capricorn, where it wants action. It's an earthy sign, it's a sign of Saturn, and Mars likes to be in action. While when the sign of Cancer, when Mars comes into the sign of Cancer, it is like making a commander-in-chief, geared up with all his weaponry, with all his battle gear, and sitting inside the house. So that is not something which is going to be good for Mars. So Mars, being the Senapati, wants to be outside at the field fighting enemies. So Mars is also not too comfortable in the sign of Cancer, and that is where it debilitates. Then Jupiter is going to become retrograde on the 9th of October for a period of 119 days, and that's where a video is pending, and it will be coming out very soon, within a day or so, and I'll be talking about the effect of the retrograde Jupiter as well. Then Venus is going to move into the sign of Scorpio. So Venus is currently in its own sign of Libra, which is its own sign, a very happy place for Venus, and now it's going to be moving into the sign of Scorpio by the middle of the month. Apart from that, Saturn is currently retrograde in the sign of Aquarius, Rahu is in Pisces, and Ketu is in the sign of Virgo. So right now we also see Sun, Mercury and Ketu's conjunction for the initial first few days in the sign of October, till the time Sun and Mercury move out into the sign of Libra. Right, so this month overall, I mean, irrespective of what sign you have and whatever you're going through, it is very important to keep your ego under check, right? So Sun getting into debilitation, it's an important sign to keep our ego, our temper under check. Mars is also under debilitation. So imagine when the king and the commander-in-chief both are not in a comfortable place. It is important not to push your decisions, or not to be too aggressive with people, not to be too authoritative, because you may come into a clash with people around you, right? So this is a time to be more tactful. Remember, Jupiter is also retrograde, so the Guru in the planetary cabinet is also under retrogression. So this is a month to be careful. This is a month to be where you need to think twice before you take up any major action, any major step, any major measures towards anybody, especially if you're dealing with people of authority, especially if you're dealing with senior people, with people who are more mature than you, or more, or higher up in the ladder than you, right? So this is important. This has to be taken care of. Now moving on to the first sign of Aries. So if you are an Aries rising, if you are an Aries ascendant native, then we see the Lagnesh, that is Mars, getting into the 4th house, which is the sign of debilitation, as I mentioned. Now here, Mars coming into the 4th house, though it's good for all your property matters, for your home matters, you will be somehow not very willingly, remember that, not very willingly you will be pulled into home matters, or matters related to home renovation, or buying new homes, or all home or property related issues are going to spring up. Maybe you're not interested, maybe it's the environment, or it's your family members who are pulling you down towards doing all these things, and it is not your area of interest, right? You may also be pushed by your family members to look at new property, or look at a land deal, etc. But remember, this is a good time to study whatever is happening around you, take in, absorb all information around you, but not convert it into any action. So if you're looking at any land deal, if you're looking at any purchase of property, this is a time to study the market properly, study the property, and then once things are a little better, that is when you should go about purchasing or making any deals as such. Then we also see a lot of planets moving out of your 6th house. Sun and Mercury move out of your 6th house, come to your 7th house, and then Venus is also there. Venus also moves out. So there's a lot of activity happening in the 6th, 7th and 8th houses, which also supports the native, supports you as such, right? So whatever you are doing, a lot of people may come under support. A lot of support may come from your partner, from your spouse, from your business partner as well, right? But keep your ego under check. Sun is going into debilitation in your 7th house. Not a great place. Sun is your 5th lord as well, right? So there could be certain events which make you uncomfortable. It may be related to children, their studies or their involvement. It may also be related to love affairs, romantic affairs which you might be in, depending on whatever age and stage you are in. There also you might look at some ego issues or some communication problems with your partner, with each other. So that is again something which I would say that you need to keep a tight check on. Apart from that, a lot of energy will also go into money matters, right? Jupiter is retrograde in the 2nd house, and Venus also moves out into the 8th house. Venus and Mercury both will be there. So both are the Rajasic planets, the planets which basically look at wealth, look at money, and they come into your 8th house. A lot of focus on insurance matters, money matters. Those people who are in the fields of banking and finance will also see a good time, right? So you may get good opportunities. You need to grab those opportunities as well. So your wealth, houses, your own wealth or your partner's wealth, your wealth houses are pretty activated, and you need to be careful about what kind of opportunities are coming up and how can you deal with them, how can you make use of them as well. One word of caution, Mars, though it's the Lagnesh, it is also your 8th lord, right? So 8th lord is the planet which is responsible for sudden things, good or bad. I mean, there might be good things, there might be bad things. So good things could be you suddenly gain some property, or you come into inheritance, or you come into some insurance money which you had never thought about, which was never on your plans, and you get that, you benefit from it, right? Apart from that, there could be certain bad things also, right? There could be sudden injury which comes to you, sudden fall or accident or anything like that. So here 8th lord in the 4th house, that is Mars, that too in the state of debilitation. You need to be very careful while driving. Don't get into any road rage. Don't pick up any fights with people. This is not a great time at all to deal with opposition. So if you are trying to fight out something, you have some opposition, this is not a great time. The better way out of any fight or any conflict is to get some mediation or sit down, talk and come out of it, rather than challenging the other person to fight more. So this is not a time to show courage to your enemies. This is a time to be more conservative and kind of move out safely of any silly situation, right? So now I move on to the next sign of Taurus. So if you look at the sign of Taurus, we have Jupiter, which is becoming retrograde in the Lagna. We have Sun and Mercury moving out of the 5th house into the 6th house. Venus is also there. So Venus is your Lagnesh also. The 6th house has a lot of potent energy in this month for the Taurus ascendant. Also, we have Mars, which is moving out of your 2nd house, coming to your 3rd in the sign of debilitation, right? So though this could be a period of gains, again unexpected gains. Jupiter is retrograde. Jupiter is the 8th lord and also the 11th lord in the Lagna. So sudden gains may come to you depending on the kind of dashas which you're going through. There could be sudden gains or sudden transformations, right? But Jupiter being a soft planet here, it could bring in money related or wealth related issues also. So things could happen suddenly. Money management will have to be taken care of. How you're spending your money, how you're managing your wealth is something which is going to be an important theme in this very month, because Mars is also moving out. Mars is going to spend a good time this month in the sign, in the second house of Gemini, or wealth house, and then it moves out. So a lot of family and finances, so joint finances, joint money, family money will have to be taken care of. So make sure you are not wasting money. That is the first thing which you need to take care of, right? You're not impulsive while talking about money matters or wealth matters within your family. So there could be infighting. That is something which needs to be avoided at all costs. Also, as I mentioned, there are a lot of planets in the 6th house for you. Sun is going to come under debilitation, then Venus and Mercury are going to be there. So this is an important point where you should take care of your mother's health, number one, because Sun, the 4th lord, is coming to the 6th house. Take care of your mother's health. Take care of your property or your land related issues. So if you have any kind of litigation or some legal matter going on, some conflict and all, this could be an eventful month, right? So you need to take care of that. You could also travel away. You could travel to meet relatives towards your mother's side, or your mother might also make a lot of travel to visit you or travel otherwise. Overall, if your mother is not keeping in good health, this is a good time to take proper care of her as well. Also, by the end of the month, there will be a time where Venus and Mercury both will be coming to your 7th house and aspecting the Lagna also. So there will be a mutual aspect of the retrograde Jupiter as well as Venus Mercury. Time to focus on your relationships, time to focus on your marriage, and be soft. Take a very soft approach towards your partner. This is not a time to be aggressive at all towards your partner or towards relationships or relatives in general. This is not a time to be aggressive at all, right? So apart from that, if you have any loans or debts, etc., to be managed, this month is going to be eventful. A lot of people I see, and I've seen it in my consultations also, a lot of people are stepping into loans for their house, right? So people are taking up huge amounts of loan as well. So whatever you do, make sure that you are not overstepping your limits, right? So Sun here in the 4th lord in the 6th house is kind of indicative of these things. So make sure that you're not overspending or overstepping your limits in terms of your loan limits, or whatever you can manage, whatever you can afford in terms of money towards buying a house or property. So loan is also something which I see as a major point this month for the Taurus ascendant. Then moving on to the next ascendant of Gemini. So if you are a Gemini rising or a Gemini ascendant, that is, you see the number 3, that is the number for Gemini in your 1st house, in the 1st house of your horoscope. That means you are a Gemini rising person, or you have a Gemini ascendant. So here for Gemini, it's going to be very interesting. You have Mars currently transiting through your 1st house, through your ascendant, and Mars will be moving into the 2nd house of wealth, getting into debilitation. Mars is also your 11th lord. So Mars is a planet which is responsible for your gains. All your wish fulfillment is also under the area of, or Mars is responsible for all of it, right? So here Mars is moving into your 2nd house, though it is moving into debilitation, but I would not take it as a bad sign at all. The 11th lord is coming to the 2nd house. There could be good material gains, though there will be expenditure also. But how will you spend if you don't have money? That means money is going to come to you, right? So a lot of material gains can be seen from your social circle, or any old contracts which you have made. Old partnerships can mature up, and things could start working out, and gains can come through. Your friends will support you towards your material gains. So you could, some friend, some male friend could be instrumental in your material gains, or getting a deal through for you, and all that could also happen. Apart from that, we also see a lot of planets like Sun, Mercury, Ketu in the 4th house, and then Sun, Mercury and Venus will be going through the sign of Libra. That is your 5th house. A lot of focus on your children. Mercury also makes a stay in the sign of Libra. A lot of focus on your children, on on their lives, their studies, their matters. There could also be a lot of expenditure towards children, their education, etc. So such things are also indicated. Sun, which is the 3rd lord, is also coming under debilitation in the 5th house. So I do not take it as a very bad sign for you. Sun is anyways the 3rd lord and it's coming to the 5th house, 3rd from itself, and it is with friendly planets. It is going to be aspecting the 11th house as well. So here, I would say this is a time to be creative. A lot of your ideas could be put into action. So whatever you were thinking about till now could be the time where you start taking action towards it. So this month I see your desk full of work. So there could be a lot of work which comes through for the Gemini ascendant, right? So and especially if you have your own venture, if you have your own business, this could be a month where your order book is full and there's a lot of work for you. So as you can see, as I mentioned, this is a month for material gains also. So you have your order book full and you get gains out of it. So a lot of profit is also on your way. So overall, a good month for the Gemini ascendant. The 2nd half of the month, you need to be a little careful, where Mercury moves into the sign of Scorpio, which is the 6th house for you. Mercury comes into an enemy's house, also the 6th house, the house of diseases, and the house of all the Shadripus, all the enemies. So here, be careful about your food intake, be careful about your digestive health. That is something which you really have to maintain properly, right? So eat the right kind of food. Don't get into junk foods and all that, food which is not good for you. Try to eat your greens, green vegetables, foods which are full of folates and all that. So as it is for the Gemini ascendant, since Mercury is your ruler, eating greens always helps, right? So your digestive health should be good. Make sure that your your reports, all your blood work is in order. So take care of your health towards the 2nd half of the month. And in case you have any chronic health issue related to the stomach region, you need to be careful about it. You need to get yourself checked in time, right? So that was about the Gemini ascendant. Moving on to the next ascendant of Cancer. So if you're a Cancer rising or the Cancer ascendant, this month we see your Yoga Karak, that is Mars. Mars is a Yoga Karak. Why? Because it rules over the 5th and the 10th lord. So a trine and a Kendra, both are ruled by Mars, hence Mars becomes your Yoga Karak. So Yoga Karak is coming out of your 12th house, coming to your 1st house and getting debilitation also, getting into a Neech Rashi also. Though I would say that once Mars is out of the 12th house, I think it's a better sign, because at least it is coming to the Kendra. It is getting into a better place. So at least the 1st half, once it goes through, the 2nd half is going to be a little better for you, compared to whatever has been happening till now and whatever is going to happen in the 1st half of the month. So 2nd half, with the Mars coming in through to the Lagna, it's going to look better for you, right? There could be a lot of property matters. There could be a lot of new affairs, new work affairs which come up. So a lot of new work can come, new responsibilities can come onto you. So work-wise, professionally, you might be very busy. So that is something which I definitely see for the Cancer ascendant. Also, Mars is your 5th lord also, coming to the ascendant. Lot of matters related to children, lot of matters related to expenditure towards kids, settling them down. These kind of things can also play up for you. A lot of you who are expecting or planning to have a child, this could be a good month, depending on your dasha again, of course. Things could start looking better for you from now on, right? So that is something which I definitely see for you. Secondly, we also see Sun, which is your second house ruler, rules over the second house, is coming into the fourth house and coming into its sign of debilitation, that is Libra. So there is a lot of focus which I see on home matters, towards your mother, towards your home, towards your properties, etc. There are other planets also which are very active in the fourth house, that is Mercury and Venus. Both are in, Venus in its own sign of Libra, Mercury in a friendly sign on top of that. So there's going to be a lot of focus. There might also be a lot of home visits, people coming to your house, a busy home, a busy social calendar, I would say, could also happen. So this month you remain busy. A lot of students who are looking at higher education and all, also this could be a good time for them. You could also start understanding as to how you want to go about things. You could get some guidance. So all those things are also on the charts. Debilitated Mars is also aspecting the 7th house and also the 4th house, right? The 4th, the 7th and the 8th house are getting aspected by the debilitated Mars in the Lagna. Though, as I said, it's good, but you should also keep in mind that you don't have to be impulsive in whatever decision you take about your your property, about your spouse, about any joint finances. This is not a time to be impulsive. Remember, as I said in the beginning, Mars is the commander-in-chief getting into debilitation. It's not in a very happy place. But yeah, in your case, since it's a yoga karak, it is much better than being in the 12th house, right? So it is coming to the Lagna, and things are going to pick up from now on. But don't be in a haste, don't be in a hurry. That is what I would definitely advise you. Then moving on to the next sign of Leo. So if you are a Leo ascendant, this is an important month for you. Your ascendant ruler Sun is getting into debilitation, that too in the 3rd house. So Sun, as we know, transits each sign every month. So every 30 days there's a transit of Sun, and on the day of Sankranti, Sun makes its move to the next sign. So on in the middle of October, Sun moves from Virgo to Libra, right? This is going to enhance your chances of travels, right? Mercury and Venus are also putting an impact there, because Mercury and Venus will also be going through the sign of Libra. So there are good chances of travel. Venus is going to be in its own sign of Libra, which is the 3rd sign, which is the 3rd house for you, right? So here a lot of comfortable travel journeys or trips can happen for you. For some, it could also be a work related trip, right? So a lot of pending work issues which you need to go and finish, or you need to travel for work, is going to come up in the month of October, after the mid of October. So there's going to be a very busy month for the Leo ascendant as well. Also Mars, which is the 4th lord for you, which is the 9th lord. So Mars is again a yoga karak planet for you. Mars is also getting under debilitation. So while the Lagnesh is getting debilitated, Mars is also getting debilitated. So that is something which you need to be a little careful about. Don't be too pushy with people. Don't be too aggressive with people. Speak softly, and it's going to be a challenge this month to speak softly and nicely with people. You may start losing patience also, right? Mars is also moving out of the 11th house into the 12th house. So what do you expend? 12th house is the house of Vyaya, house of expenditure. What do you expend or what do you give out? You may like to give out anger sometimes, being impulsive sometimes. So that is something which you need to be keeping a check on. This is also a month where a lot of you will look at investment in real estate, right? So real estate matters, or sale purchase of real estate could also be in the cards for a lot of Leo ascendant people. So work-wise, you're busy. Property matters are also going to come up. just keep a check on how you're communicating and how you're behaving with others. That is very important. Apart from that, this month looks fine professionally. Now the busy period is going to start for you, and I'm going to talk about it in detail in the Jupiter retrograde video, which is going to come up very soon, right? Then moving on to the next sign of Virgo. So if you're a Virgo ascendant, we have Ketu, Sun and Mercury in your Lagna, and then by the middle of the month, Sun is going to move out into the second house of Libra. Mercury is also going to move out, and the sign of Libra is going to get a lot of focus, right? Also, Sun, which is your 12th lord, is also getting debilitated in the second house. Apart from Mars, Mars is also a very malefic planet for you, class 1 malefic as we say in astrology, and Mars being your 8th lord, being your 3rd lord, is also getting debilitated in the 11th house. Overall, good that it is getting into debilitation, right? A planet which is weak, a planet which is a malefic, should remain a little weak. That will be better for you, right? So Mars is getting under debilitation in the 11th house. So while material gains may happen for you, some old money which is stuck, insurance money, inheritance money, it could be a small sum only, but if it's stuck somewhere in some account, may come to you. You may not need to run around too much for it. So all those things can happen. Gains wise, money wise, this is okay, but overall Sun is getting debilitated. Your 12th lord is getting debilitated into the second house. This could be a time where a lot of family conflicts can happen, right? So what do you finally spend, or what do you finally do? You end up picking conflicts within the family, right? So that is something which you need to keep a tight check on, right? That is something which you need to be careful about. Troubles or conflicts with your in-laws, with your spouse's family, these things can also occur. So you need to be careful there. Also, for students or for people who are preparing for examinations, etc., this could be a busy month. There is a lot of activity which I see. People in the education sector, etc., or the banking sector also could see a lot of activity and a very busy month ahead for them as well, right? So this is a busy month, but yeah, family wise, family relationships, etc., could get a little hit, so you need to be careful there. Then moving on to the next sign of Libra. So if you are a Libra ascendant, we see Sun coming to your first house, that is the ascendant, by the middle of the month. Sun is your 11th lord. Now it's your 11th lord also, and it's your Badhakesh also, right? So Sun coming into your first house along with Mercury. Then there's Venus. The Lagnesh is in the first house itself. Venus is also going to move out. We see a debilitated Mars in your 10th house. It's going to move from the 9th to the 10th house. So here I would say, a lot of money matters are going to be the focus area for the Libra ascendant, right? So a lot of money matters, a lot of focus on money decisions is going to be there. A lot of you will also look at churning up your assets or reallocating your assets, right? So moving your money around, focus on money, right? So how can I gain better? If I'm gaining 7% here, how can I gain 12-13% somewhere else, is going to be the focus for the Libra ascendant. So you get very ambitious regarding money matters, and a lot of money decision or churning around of money can happen for you. This is also a good month for material gains. So while all this churning around, all this reallocating can happen, you may also stand to gain, right? Provided your dasha is supporting you, right? So if you're running the right dasha, this may be a very good time period also for you, especially since 11th lord Sun is also into the ascendant. So if you're a government employee or you work with the government, there could be gains from there. There could be gains in terms of social networks also. So you meet somebody who who can put in things in your favor, or who can work in your favor, etc. So all these kind of things, or you meet some authority figure who likes you and who's going to help you out wherever you are stuck. So these kind of things are also seen for the Libra ascendant. Also, as I mentioned, Mars is in the 9th house currently and is going to be moving into your 10th house, the sign of debilitation, sign of Cancer. So here I would say, this is a time to be a little patient at workspace. So don't lose your cool with your subordinates, with your colleagues, etc. Right? So sometimes under pressure or under any, under hurry, under pressure, you may react inappropriately. That is something which you really need to avoid. Remember, Mars is the Markesh for you. It's the 2nd lord and the 7th lord. So getting impatient, reacting unnecessarily with your colleagues, even with your spouse, sometimes can backfire very badly for you. So that is something which you really need to take care of. Otherwise, things are looking good for the Libra ascendant in terms of material gains, in terms of professional support from higher ups. But how you manage your own environment is something which you really need to keep in mind. And how you're managing your spouse, your marital relationship is also up to you. So don't lose your cool, right? All the time when Mars is here in the 10th house, you may be tempted to do it. Then moving on to the next sign of Scorpio. So if you're a Scorpio rising, Scorpio ascendant, we see Mars, which is your Lagnesh, getting into debilitation. So Mars was in the sign of Gemini all this while in the 8th house, and Mars is now going to exit the 8th house and move into the 9th house where it debilitates also. Also, we see a lot of focus on the 12th house as Sun and Mercury move out of the 11th, move into your 12th house, and Sun gets into debilitation. Sun is your 10th lord, Kendra lord, and rules over the Karm Sthan and moves into the 12th house also, and on top of it, it gets into debilitation also. Now that is something which you need to be careful about. Number one, it is going to give a rise to your expenses, right? So a lot of planets here, a lot of energy here. 12th lord Venus in its own sign anyways is going to, it must already be causing a lot of expenditure. So expenditure is going to rise up. Those people who are looking at seeking some new job, etc., may also look at some abroad options they may find, or even if you're not going abroad, moving out of your current place of work, relocating may help, or you may get offers where you have to relocate. Some of you may also look at a loss of job or a temporary situation of layoffs, or these kind of things also may come up. So this could also be a very negative situation for quite a few people, especially if your dashas are not running, if your right dashas are not running, dashas are not supporting, then this could be a time of upheaval in your professional career. So this is a time to be open to change and go with the flow of time. So don't be too stuck on exactly what you want, and this is how exactly I want, and this is the location I want, and this is the profile I want. Please don't get stuck like that. If you are in a challenging situation in terms of your job right now, you'll have to compromise a bit and things will get okay, right? So if you have to compromise on location, or if you have to compromise a little bit on your job profile, it's better to compromise right now rather than getting into a jobless state. So that is something which you should definitely keep a check on, right? Apart from that, this is a time to seek guidance of your mentors, of your gurus, or your father, or elders basically. So professionally, the entire focus this month is going to be on the profession side, on the work side. And even if those of you who are not working, like a lot of times people put in queries where they say that, I am a homemaker, I'm not working outside, right? Or I'm somebody who's not actively employed anywhere. So even in such cases, you'll have to be very careful about the kind of actions which you're doing. Your actions could have long-term consequences, or long-term, problems your actions can generate. So this is something which is This is a time to be very mindful. So even if you're not professionally working anywhere, this is a time to be very mindful and not get into any kind of ego issues with anybody. So, underplay a little. That is, I think, a better word to put it out. So underplay a little, and seek guidance from mature people, from good people who mean well for you, who are your well-wishers or who are gurus. They'll be able to guide you well out of any messy situations you are in, right? So that is very important this month for the Scorpio ascendant. Apart from that, things will look up. If you go the right way, things will look up. Jupiter is retrograde in your 7th house, aspecting the Lagna. So you will get support whenever you need. You'll have to ask for it, right? Sun is your ego. Sun is your confidence, and it is in the 12th house. Not a happy state, in the sign of debilitation. So you can understand what it means. You need to put down your ego a bit and seek out. Go out to seek help. Then moving on to the next sign of Sagittarius. So if you're a Sagittarius ascendant, we see the Lagnesh, that is Jupiter, in the 6th house currently. Jupiter is also going to become retrograde, and I'm going to be making a video on this very soon, most probably within a couple of days, right? So Jupiter is also going to become retrograde on the 9th of October. Apart from this, Mars, which is currently in your 7th house, is going into your 8th house. Mars is a yoga kara graha for you. It is your 5th lord, and it is getting into debilitation in the 8th house. Apart from that, your Bhagyesh, which is the sun, is also getting into debilitation in the 11th house. So here a lot of activity, I would say, both your trinal lords, your 5th lord and your 9th lord, Mars as well as sun, both are getting into debilitation. Right, so this is also a month for the Sagittarius ascendant to be a little careful, right? Materially, you will do well. Materially, I see the 11th house, the house of gains, in a good state. But otherwise, you need to be careful. Number one, don't get into any kind of rash driving, rash decisions, or picking up fights, or getting very aggressive with your children, with your siblings. So you need to avoid aggressions. Think twice, count to 10, whatever works for you. You need to do that to keep yourself calm, right? Because Mars is in the 8th house, and that is not a great place for you anyways, right? So apart from that, Sun is also getting into debilitation. So Sun is your Bhagyesh, another trinal lord, but Sun is better in the sense that Sun is coming to your 11th house, the house of gains. So getting advice from your father, from your gurus, etc. may be very, may prove to be very good. This could also be a time where if you're running the right dashas, your luck may support you. So purely by the luck factor, you could stand to gain. So some gains could come to you. Some social networking could work out well in your favor. People could support you out. So all these things are also around the corner. Some of you may also look at speculative gains this month. And I would say that this could be true for a lot of first timers, people who are investing in the stock market for the first time, or people who are, not going ahead with professional advice, or going the professional way into the stock market and trying to, make a quick buck. That is not the right approach for you this month. While Mars, which is the 5th lord, is under debilitation in the 8th house, you may end up making losses or making the incorrect decisions. So this month is very, it's very crucial in terms of getting the right guidance before you go ahead and play around with your money. That is something which is definitely advised. Apart from that, there's a Vipreet Rajyog also. Mars, though it's a Yoga Karak, it's the 12th lord also, and it is getting debilitated in the 8th house. So initially, when the transit happens, initially you could see some difficulties, but slowly, gradually, if you go about in a proper manner, the right guidance, things could get better also. So not to be hasty and impulsive this month with your money, and take care of your opportunities this month. That is also very important. Those of you who have any import or export kind of a business, they'll also find it a very active month. Or if you have foreign connections, foreign clients, import export, as I mentioned. So any connections with foreign lands, or you have gains through abroad connections, etc., this could be a very active month for you. That way, you know, it's a gainful month. So materialistically it's good. Haste and impulse has to be avoided at all costs, and do take care of your health, because Jupiter is retrograde, being the Lagnesh, that too in the 6th house. So this is a time to focus on your health, focus on your well-being, especially the food you eat. Till now, if you haven't been taking care of yourself, this is a time to be, you know, to get aware and take care of your health. A lot of yoga and pranayam is going to help you out. Mars being the physical body, Mars being the you know, a very important planet for you in the 8th house. The more oxygen it gets, the better it performs, right? So take care of that. Then moving on to the next sign of Capricorn. So if you're a Capricorn ascendant, your Lagnesh Saturn is retrograde currently in the 2nd house. We have Jupiter retrograde in the 5th house from 9th October onwards. Then we have Mars getting into debilitation. So Mars is going to come out of your 6th house, move into the 7th house, Kendrasthan, aspecting the Lagna also, and getting into debilitation. Also the 8th lord is also coming into debilitation in the 10th house, that is the Sun. So here I would say this could be a month of sudden changes, first of all. So whatever happens, you know, sudden changes can happen. Suddenly you might have to look at a change of job, relocation, or sudden travels could also happen. So because of your job, now you get 3 or 4 days notice and you have to move out, travel a lot. You may not be stable at home, right? So you may miss home. You may spend time away from your home, away from your family. So those kind of things can play up. Sudden disturbances can also come up. Those of you who are actively seeking out jobs may also relocate. So please be open to relocation. Do not get stuck with location issues. And I see a lot of youngsters these days getting stuck with location, etc. I mean, if you're in your 20s, if you're in your early 30s, you don't have grown-up children settled at one place, etc. Just be open, just be more flexible and be adaptable to any change. It may be working out well for you, right? So that is what I want to convey. So you know, keep yourself open to new possibilities is what I'm trying to convey. So be, you know, be happy, go with the flow, and things will work out for you. So there's a lot of chance for relocation, for a lot of changes in your work profile, in your job profile, which is primarily what I see. Also, this could be an you know, an important month for people who are doing their own business. Especially if you are into sale purchase of property, your real estate work, or you are into vehicles, etc. If you have any business related to automotives, vehicles, cars, etc. So this is going to be an active month for you. Be careful while signing any agreements or doing any paperwork. That is again very important. Also Mars, as I said, you know, it's in the 7th house. It's going to be in the 7th house. It's also the 4th lord and the 11th lord, right? So 4th lord, I mean, it is making a connection with the 4th house also. Take care of your mother's health, right? That is again very important. So if you have if your mother has any chronic health issues, this is a time to focus on her as well. This may also require frequent travel, maybe to meet your mother or go home, etc. So that is something, you know, which is definitely there. Sudden changes, sudden travel plans. So the Capricorn ascendant is going to be busy this month. Apart from that, now we also have Jupiter. You know, the saving grace is Jupiter in the 5th house. Jupiter is also going to become retrograde, and it is going to be aspecting the Lagna. So Jupiter is also a planet which is ruling over the 3rd and the 12th houses. Again, the houses of changes, houses of travels, houses of leaving home. So Jupiter is also coming into power once it becomes retrograde. And I'm going to be making a video on it as well. But everything around which is happening around in the chart is looking at a lot of changes, a lot of transformation at your workplace. at your home side as well. So be open to that. Then moving on to the next sign of Aquarius. So if you're an Aquarius rising, Aquarius ascendant, your Lagnesh Saturn is currently retrograde in the Lagna itself, right? We also have Mars, which is your third lord, your 10th lord, getting into debilitation in the 6th house. Take care of your health. Take care of any hormonal issues which you have. So if you have problems with your thyroid or with your neck region, any ENT issues, any hormonal issues, etc., you need to be very careful, right? So treat it before it becomes into a chronic problem. That is something which you definitely need to see. Apart from that, I also see a lot of expenditures, towards the medical side as well, towards medical needs. So that is again something which is indicated. So your health has to be seen the first thing round this month. Apart from that, we also see the 7th lord, that is Sun, moving into the 9th house. That way it's good. A Kendra lord is moving into the Trikona house, that is Sun. But the other, planets, Mercury and Venus, are also falling along. So there is going to be a lot of focus on travel for you, on spending time away from you. Those of you who are undergoing some educational courses away from home, you may also travel quite a bit, and this is going to be an eventful month for you. Time to focus on your studies, time to focus on things which will raise your status in life, right? So a lot of planets in the 9th house here. Guidance can be provided to you. You can meet new mentors, new teachers, etc. So all these things can also happen. This could also be a time of, for those of you who are married, this could also be a time for a lot of changes. So a look at, a new houses, buying a new property, or moving out of your current house, upgrading to a better house. All these things are also possible for the Aquarius ascendant, right? Apart from that, work-wise, this is a month to be, careful. Take care of your subordinates. Make sure that they don't become a cause of attention for you, right? So take care of your subordinates. Speak well. Don't be aggressive, right? That is something which I would definitely, ask you to look at. Also, keep a check on people who work for you, right? So don't keep, don't be very casual with things. Keep a check. I mean, there could be a lot of problem with people who are working for you. You might face absence issues, etc. So that is also something which could happen this month, which you need to be careful about. Then moving on to the next sign of Pisces. So if you're a Pisces ascendant, Jupiter, which is your Lagnesh, is in the 3rd house in retrograde motion from the 9th of October onwards. There'll be a video which will come up soon on the retrograde Jupiter and its impact. Apart from that, your 2nd lord, that is Mars. Mars rules over your 2nd as well as your 9th house. Important planet for you. Rules over your luck and rules over your money, over your pocket, right? So Mars is becoming debilitated in your 5th house, right? Important transit, especially for those who are students, especially for those who are pursuing higher studies. So sometimes there could be some kind of confusion also regarding your studies, regarding the choice of subjects which you've taken, and all those things might also happen. There might be settling issues with some. So if you've just started off with a course after your schooling or after your undergraduation, you are taking up some kind of specialization, etc. There could be some confusion, there could be some difficulty in the beginning which you might have to deal with. So these things you have to be prepared for. Apart from that, the 6th lord, that is Sun, is transiting from the 7th going to the 8th house, becoming debilitated. And it is going to be a Vipreet Rajyog also, which gets formed here. So initially, as I said, especially for students this month, or for those people who are making a lot of heavy money decisions this month, right? So either you're making some sale purchase, or you're investing some money, or you're moving a big sum of money this month. from your account to some sale, or picking up something, making big ticket purchases like a house or a big car, expensive car, etc. These kind of things. Initially, there might be difficulties, there might be obstacles. Gradually, as time passes by, things could get settled down. That is something which I definitely see here. Money issues may trouble you, right? Initially, that you could see that you don't have enough money, or you don't have enough resources to do what you want, and gradually it settles up. Gradually, you get help. A lot of you will also get helped with their spouse's money. So your joint accounts, your assets which you hold with your spouse could also come into use. So a lot of support from your spouse is definitely which I see this month. And an active time for people, those of you who are in business, who do their own business, this is a very active time for you. So you'll have to look at redoing things, redoing your projects, repositioning yourself. So a lot of upkeep, a lot of transformation to keep on doing your business, to keep on getting positive and good results in terms of profitability is something which you'll have to focus on this month, right? So that is something which you need to be ready. Otherwise, a lot of Pisces ascendant will see an overall a decent time, right? So this is not something which is all these planets, especially the sun getting into debilitation. The best part is that it is the sixth lord going into the 8th house. It is not debilitating anywhere else, right? Same goes with Mars also. So Mars is basically going to put an impact on all your education choices and all that. But otherwise things seem to be fine for the Pisces ascendant, and more detail will come up when I talk about the retrograde Jupiter, which is your Lagnesh, and what does it do for you, what kind of impact will it have on you for the next 4 months is what I'm going to be talking about there. So I'll see you very soon in the next video. Till then, if you've liked the content, do give me a like and share the video with as many people as possible. Thank you so much.